He's like, oh, he's going off onto a tangent. Film him. It's fucking sick. I feel like I'm like an animal in the zoo right now. We're like, no. Oh, no, not the zoo. You know what? If you've ever been to Vegas, there's a, are they polar bears? No, they're white tigers at MGM.
Yeah.
And it's just like thousands of people a day just come and like watch them, and sometimes they like won't move. And people are just like, no, just keep watching. Any second now they're going to do something. And then one will like just pick up its head and like just shift it. And everyone's like, oh my God, did you see it? Take a picture or film it. He did something. So I feel like that's what's going on here. He's like, oh, JD's going on a tangent. Film him.
So JD's a white tiger?
Because he finally I'm a white tiger. What was I even talking about right now? Oh, there was this awkward period and I did, not awkward, but I guess like after the first few shows we did where I was kind of like an actor and a writer in a bunch of them. But I still would never consider myself like, I'm not going to sign autographs. That's dopey. Like, I'm no one. What are you doing? Like, but I'd still like get requests for it. Like, people would just stop me and be like, oh, would you sign this or can I take a photo with you? And I think it was like after the Starship show. So really the first one I was really ever in. Mm-hmm. And some father took a photo of me with his daughter. And he's like, wow, you're very natural. I can tell you do this all the time. And I was like, yeah, I take lots of fan photos, sir. You're exactly right. I was just like, and I was like, I guess I like very naturally fall into like the bullshit kind of like, oh yeah, hey, I'll take photos. It's not bullshit.
Like, has anyone made you uncomfortable? You don't have to give like names or descriptions.
But good, because I had a list of everyone's names in my pocket, my uncomfortable fan list, but I guess I'm gonna leave it tucked away. No, not really. You know, I really like these. I think the street team girls are awesome. And I always try and like say hello to them separately for a couple minutes because they've been to a bunch of the shows. Like I know who they are. That's not uncomfortable. I don't know why I said any uncomfortable fans. I'm like, well, the street team. Yeah, let me tell you about them. No, they are awesome. I really appreciate that. Not really. I mean, again, I've only had like this fan thing for a couple of months now. No, nothing bad. I mean, it's awesome. It's really cool. It really is.
We're gonna follow up next year, and it's gonna be like, there was this girl who waited outside my apartment.
She like stalked me from her car. No, nothing bad. I'm just trying to think of like isolate. You know what was kind of cool was I don't know if it was cool. I was caught by surprise. Definitely was. The show was like Charlene, Megan, and like Theo and Mia's show at Mercury Lounge. I don't know if you were there.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah, we talked.
We talked. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like that was like the first time. Like it was like my first event. Like I had nothing to do with. Like I wasn't in the show. I wasn't, and that was like the first thing. Like I said, like I had nothing to do with. But I showed up and people were like expecting me to be there. Or people were like, "Oh, hey!" It was right after the show.
Yeah, you tweeted you were gonna go or something.
Yeah,
so like JD's coming, and I'm like, cool.
So it wasn't uncomfortable. But that was like a realization of like, oh wow, that like I was just here to come see my friend's show. You know what I mean? Yeah, but people, and this was right after Joe and I had done a show like 2 days later. So I was surprised really how many people were coming up to me and being like, oh, I had a bunch of the people be like, I think it was maybe some of the street team, like, oh, someone couldn't be here, but it's her birthday, like, can we record you saying happy birthday? Aww. Again, I was just there, like, chilling, trying to watch Mia's set, and I was just like, oh, yeah, well, happy birthday. Like, I still don't know what to do, you know?
Yeah, well, you were all the way in the back, though, right?
That's what my big ones are, like, I've never been overly starstruck by, like, actors or writers or people in entertainment, because I feel like, for me, like, that's what I want, like, that's what I attain to, so there's almost, like, more of, like, a connection. But athletes, like they are absolute superheroes to me because I will never bat cleanup for the New York Yankees. I know that.
Right.
So you know when I meet like a Yankee or I met Amani Toomer, like a former like giant great wide receiver, just a few months ago. He actually was in my buddy's comedy show, and I went into it kind of being like, cool, I'm just gonna meet him, shake his hand, asked for an autograph, and I went in there. And the second I saw him, I just started blabbering like I was like a little girl. I was just like, and 07 season, and we were at this game, and I'm like telling him my favorite moments from his career, and he's just sitting there like I can tell he gets this all the time.
Right.
But the fact that he just took like 5 minutes to engage with me back and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then we were on the plane, we went to London for this game. I was like, I ain't talking to Amani Toomer for 5 minutes. Like, so athletes are like that for me, especially New York athletes. I did. I don't know. But I still have like. I'm still like a comedy nerd. Like at the end of the day, like this is what I do. So even though like I see people and I'm not that I'm unimpressed, but there's a kind of like, all right, I can deal with this easily. It's, you know, something. I did work just this week. I'm a bartender. That's like my pay the bills gig.
That's how most New Yorkers are, though.
That's
this is my job, and this is what I do.
Yeah, that's what I do. So yeah, so my like fake job is bartender. But I worked there's a great show on Adult Swim called Delocated, which is a comedy show, and they had their new season premiere that launched this week, and I bartended the season premiere launch party.
Awesome.
And so like the stars of the show, like John Glazer, a bunch of them were there, and that was cool. But I wasn't expecting like half the SNL cast to show up.
Wow.
So, because they have nothing to do with the show,
Right.
but like Jason Sudeikis, one of the first people to walk in, he stayed all night. Paul Rudd ended up coming by later. Bill Hader waltzed in at like 1:15 in the morning.
Nice.
And like I was fine, like seeing like Sudeikis and like John Lutz and Jorma Taccone from Lonely Island was there. And I see these people, and even like I'm working with other people, like the other bartenders, like they have no idea who they are. But I'm like, how do you not know Jorma from Lonely Island? Like, what are you talking about? Like he's amazing, you know what I mean? Like he's like legendary in my book. And like Sudeikis, and then I was cool with it. I was like, cool, like that's what I'm gonna say. And like Fred Armisen waltzed in, I was like, this is great. But then Bill Hader popped in so late in the night, and then I like had another freak out moment. I'm like, holy shit, that's Bill Hader. You know? So I still have that, but that's how I know for me it's like when I have those moments, that's how I know for me like it's still important.
Yeah.
Like I never want to get to the point where I'm like so jaded, where it's just like, oh man, fuck these guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's still like that's how I know it's still exciting for me. Like there's still like always like you should you know it's so funny like. It's not funny at all, but yeah, like the whole being nice thing, because I have met people who are such dicks. Like the biggest one, and now I'm gonna say on camera, I hope this gets posted and gets like a gazillion views. I hope everyone knows. I've met Dallas Cowboys running back, and I particularly take pride in saying this because I'm a huge Giants fan. I've met Dallas Cowboys legendary running back Emmitt Smith twice in my life, and he's a complete dick to me twice. Once when I was a little kid, and then again the day after Super Bowl 42 4 years ago in the Arizona airport, and he fucking blew me off like a dick. The second time in my life he's ever done that. But of course he doesn't sit there and ever expect like, oh, this little shitty kid who I'm just gonna blow off like he's no one is never gonna like.
Okay, so that's gonna
do
go
a
on.
YouTube
I'll do a special just that. That's gonna be its own video.
But it's a shame, like, yeah, and honestly, and I understand, maybe I caught him on like 2 bad days of his life. But that's his mark on me, like for life. Like, like I'm never gonna meet the guy and never be like, you're always great in my book. Because I have 2 first impressions, and they're both dicky.
I did want to ask about Doctor Who. Like, how did that come about?
Doctor Who was, let's see, it was either Joe or it might have even been Pat Brady's recommendation to kind of explore that territory because of the shared fan base with Doctor Who fan. I knew nothing about it. I had heard of it. I knew it was a thing, but I knew zero. I was like clueless. Joe walked me through this whole thing, and so I started doing my research and watched a bunch of the David Tennant episodes. Who was awesome. He is really cool. He's like
I'm midway through season 3. I started watching it a while ago.
Season 3 of like the new remake.
So I watched the. Who was not number 9? What's his name? Christopher Eccleston. I started watching
the tall guy.
The tall guy with the ears.
I watched. Yeah, I love the Rose story, and that's the thing is season 3 is
Martha.
The new companion comes in, Martha.
Oh.
So, because the Rose story ends at the end of season 2, and I'm like, but this was really Rose's story. It's not so much about the Doctor. It's about Rose's relationship with the Doctor.
Yeah.
So now it's this whole new thing, and I'm like.
Okay.
I'll try to get into this. No, and I'm starting to like the Doctor more now because I don't care about Martha. But so I'm
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Season 3.
I had watched literally. I had like read the Wikipedia page and then watched maybe a total of 10 minutes when I wrote our first Doctor Who sketch, which was like 2 shows ago. It was just the sketch. I don't know if you're there or not. Oh, we did it with
Jamie.
We did it with Jamie. Yeah. I literally wrote that off 5 minutes of knowledge of like well I know enough. Joe told me, he's like, and then he's got this screwdriver thing that I'll bring out. And I was like, great, so we'll just write a bit. So I knew enough to like write something, and then it took me a little more research to come up with the 2-part premise we did for the most recent show, which takes place at the Blockbuster video.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what's like the most modern day depressing, like non-scientific exciting? I was like, Blockbuster video. If there are still any of them, I don't know, but it works.
They're not in New York. They're down. They're still around though, because somebody that I know said they were going to like Blockbuster. And I'm like.
What? No, you're not.
It's like, you mean the kiosk?
You mean the Dropbox? You mean the movie Dropbox? There's no such thing as Dropbox. And I did a little more research and then wrote that 2-part thing, which was really cool. But I mean, we've talked about like expanding it, making it bigger. I mean, we have no idea at this point. We just know with that shared fan base, there's so much to do.
I had all these like fan questions.
Yeah, let's do them. Fan questions.
Favorite color?
Blue. Light blue.
Favorite, like baby blue, like Justin Timberlake? Oh, sorry.
Like, is that his favorite?
In Think Days, when he used to still have the blonde curls, he always wore baby blue.
Well, I really want to be like Justin Timberlake, so I'm going to say baby blue.
Favorite Disney movie?
Finding Nemo, actually. With a line. Well, I grew up on Lion King, but I'm a big Nemo fan. I think it's really well written.
I'm going to fist bump you for that.
Fan of Finding Nemo.
You can if you want to.
Yeah, fist bump.
Oh, let's pound it! Get
Those are my two favorites.
Are you gonna see Finding Nemo in 3D? Did you see that's coming out like in October or something?
Well, then yes, I will.
I saw the commercial of Beauty and the Beast. It looked so cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Beauty and the Beast is great too.
Favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Oh, specifically, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the comedies, so I'll go with Philadelphia. No, that's awful. It's so funny. No, it's awful. I was a huge fan of Big when I was a kid, and then I watched The Lady Killers not too long ago. I thought it was alright. I'd say Big ever out of all my favorites. I thought that was a really cool premise when I was a kid. Those like ones that kind of like stretch your imagination. When I was a kid, I was like really getting into writing and like storytelling. I was like, that's really cool. There's like an intriguing premise there I liked a lot, so I'd say Big.
Do you have any embarrassing moments like from work or not? You can tell either one. Or
From work or not?
Yeah.
Embarrassing moments?
Like on stage or something, like it's like a really awful blooper.
Nothing like really stands out, but you know, I do. Actually, you know what's funny? What happens is sometimes, like when we do the show, there are such hasty costume changes. Like we just like are ripping clothes. I'm like throwing on backstage because we have such, especially for a show like the last one, like the tech's a little bit off, and we're like we just need to rush out there. There was one, and I remember you specifically. It was a pitch show. I couldn't tell you which one. And I don't know who you were sitting with, but I came out and I realized pretty much right away that my shirt was both inside out and backwards. So the tag was floating out right here. And I kept trying, how I put on the shirt backwards inside, I don't know. But the tag was floating here, and so I was doing this thing where I was like trying to like do a lot of this stuff, or like, yeah, like when I was like answering just to cover up the tag, because I guess the rest of the shirt looked kind of okay. But you, the second I came out, I saw you and you turned and you like gave some motion to your friend, like the two of you were joking. I was like, shit, people can see my shirt.
Oh,
I was like, I look like a moron right
I think there was one day that I noticed the shirt was inside out, but I don't think that was what I was talking about.
Okay. Well, in my head, of course, I'm so paranoid. I'm like, everyone knows right now. This is all there. I'm being judged for my poor performance skills.
No, I actually usually don't like to make fun of you with those things.
Oh, thank you.
We
No,
wait.
because I've made fun of like just me being like, oh, but like the one with Walker and Joey. When you guys were doing when Joe was the cat person,
yeah,
or whatever,
the cat sketch. We call it the cat sketch.
The table was like falling.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even concentrate because it's like that fall on Walker's knee.
Or the camera fell. That showed that.
Yeah.
The camera fell and started falling. People still bust my balls about that.
The table kept at everything because Joey was banging on the table, and I was like, oh god! I was like, it's gonna like fast Walker in the knee. Does he not realize the table's falling?
No.
And it took everything in me not to like get up and fix it myself. Like I'm just sitting there like, just fix the table, Walker. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Right.
And then eventually he finally was like, and I was like, okay.
I'm pretty lucky. I mean, these have gone pretty well. Embarrassing. I mean, when I used to do my one-man show, some of them were like amazing, where I'd sell out, and it was like the greatest energy I've ever had. Others were just duds of shows. Those were always kind of embarrassing, especially when you have like family and friends there, and the whole audience is comprised only of family and friends, and you're like, I have to do this like awkward show right now. So those are bad. But I had a bunch of like, I remember like forgetting, like when I was in high school competing, like 13, 14. Like I remember forgetting like speeches halfway through, and I made it to like the final rounds of the state championships, and in New Jersey state championships, I forgot my speech halfway through, and I was like, I knew I was like one of the final 6 in New Jersey because there were only 6 of us who made the finals. And if you're that good to make the finals, it's pretty much assumed like you're not going to forget your speech. But I stood there and I only got like 5 minutes. It was like a 10 to 11 minute speech, and I got like 5 minutes into it, and I just stood there and I froze and I forgot. And the room's packed with people, maybe like 50 people or so in there. Completely forgot, and I was just like, thank you. And I sat down And then later on at the awards ceremony, they announce from like 6th place on. They go from like 6 to 1. And the second, she's like, and in 6th place, and I just started walking towards the podium because I knew it was very obvious that I finished last place because I forgot my fucking speech.
We have 10 minutes.
Okay.
Boom!
On the other side of that, what is your happiest moment of your life?
Of my whole life? First thing jumps in my head would be Super Bowl 42. 4 years ago, Giants Patriots, I got to go. I went with my stepdad and my stepbrother. We went to Glendale, Arizona. I mean, that's like...
And you met Emmitt Smith, who was a big deal.
I met Emmitt Smith the morning after the Super Bowl in the Arizona. Fucking what a dickhead. Yeah, that's like, sports is so important to my family. Like, I was raised on like New York sports. It was like a big thing for me when my mom remarried my stepdad, and I had a very strained relationship with him for a long time. Giants football was like that really thing when I was younger that really kind of brought us together. So now we're extremely close. I'm extremely close with his whole family. We're really bonded through the Giants. So that whole Super Bowl season, but especially that like improbable win and being there with my brother and my dad, that's really cool. And then career-wise, I'd say my best thing was when I got into SAG. I have one line in a Frankie Muniz movie called Pizza Man, which I don't think has been, no one has heard of it. I don't even think Frankie has heard of it. It's a star. It hasn't come out yet. I don't think it's come out yet, or it's straight to DVD or something. But like Corbin Burnson is in it and Shelley Long, and I play hallway nerd, and I have one line. But it got me like $600 paycheck, which was like the lottery to me at the time. And then, and I got into SAG, so that was like the happiest career moment I probably had.
Have you signed anything weird yet?
Signed it? Yeah, I've signed some cell phone cases, which I don't get. That's bizarre. People have me sign, I signed a bunch of Darren's playbills from How to Succeed in Business because clearly I was a co-star of the show. They left my face off of it. They're like, we'll put Darren's instead. And people ask me to sign like Harry Potter stuff all the time, which I have nothing to do with. But I'm like, I always like, they put it in front of me and my first instinct is, I like leave it. And they're like, sign it. And I'm like, oh, like, I have nothing to do with this show. Just like random stuff like that.
They have Darren sign Harry Potter books.
Harry Potter, I've signed Harry Potter books, like the actual, like, J.K. Rowling text. Yeah, I've done that too.
The first time I saw them do that with Darren, he wrote this huge thing. He was like, I am not Harry Potter. I don't know why I'm signing this.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, stop being mean. He was like, I don't get it. And I'm like, just smile and nod. You are Harry Potter.
Yeah. But otherwise, some random stuff.
Have you gotten any cool gifts from anybody?
Like fan-wise? I thought like in my life. I was like, yeah. Santa's pretty good, wasn't it?
Yes, sorry.
Not really. Some awesome fan brought us cupcakes on our last show. That was kind of cool. They were panda cupcakes.
I saw a picture on Twitter.
I
was wondering, I was like, look at that.
No, I haven't gotten any gifts. Although I always consider those like street team, those little things that they bring. I always kind of consider those gifts because I think they're awesome.
The flyers?
The little flyers, yeah. That's a thrill for me. They're kind of cool. Oh. So no gifts otherwise. Besides that. So get on the gift giving people because I have not gotten anything yet. Jesus, fans.
Assholes. Okay. What made you choose Villanova?
Villanova was it's a service-based school, so it was like a community service-based. It was Augustinian University, so that was important to me. And it was a school where it's a kind of school where everyone is really smart and everyone works extremely hard, but they like party and have such a good time. Like it's always been that perfect balance of like personality and hard work, where people are really like kind of like the total package. It's like the kind of Villanova guy. So that's what I did.
Do you have a favorite J-Mom sketch?
Yeah, probably Tell Me About It. That's probably my favorite. That or the cat sketch we did with Walker and Richter.
That was good.
Yeah, tell me about it. Or the DMV one. Oh, there's so many good ones. A bunch of the Blackouts we've written too are so good. No, I'll say my favorite sketch would be Tell Me About It. Which is great, because that's just me and Joe. I really like the me and Joe stuff. We write and we do them quickly. Or the DMV one, which we did a couple shows ago with the music. And I'd say my favorite Blackout is one I did with Tessa Netting, where she's a huge Jets fan in real life. I was like, I love the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
So we did like a football-themed Blackout, which is my favorite one,
And Christmas Shoes was obviously a good
Christmas Shoes was awesome. Yeah, I love doing the Christmas Shoes. People
I'll
still
explain them when we're done.
See, people love the Christmas shoes. Everyone's always asking me Christmas shoes. I'm like, I wrote this in like 10 minutes and put it up, and it's become like such a big thing. So,
Yeah, that's like your catchphrase now.
Kind of, yeah. Everyone's like, oh, sing Christmas shoes. I'm like, all right. No.
I love that. I told you that. I love that, like, the audience. The audience has been regular enough that it's like recurring. That like people expect, like, oh yeah, tell me about it, and like people laugh. Even though, like, now it's, you know, the sketch wasn't in it. You just said it offhand.
Yeah, right.
I think. Wow, if you could write your own life story, where would you see it going?
Where would I see it going? Like the story, like to the publisher's desk? I don't know. What do you mean?
No, I think they mean like
my career.
What do you want? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Definitely a long career in television. Really, as a writer, producer, and actor. I think the people I'm most influenced by would be like the career like a Seth MacFarlane has had, comparable to that, where he's really like the creative driving force. But you know him as a performer, like a Seth Meyers right now is one of my favorites. So probably on that. Honestly, I really want to win, Emmy awards. It's really important. That's why even on my cell phone, I have like the background of my phone is an Emmy award. I always say it's the Emmy I haven't won yet. So I love the Emmy awards. I love television history. It's so important to me. I'm such a fan. So winning as many Emmy awards as possible is way up there on the list. So.
Favorite thing besides football?
Favorite thing besides football? Oh, my lame answer would be baseball because that's my second thing.
I totally thought that's what he was going to say.
Yeah, baseball. Yankees baseball would probably be it. Yeah. Or Jamba Juice. I love Jamba Juice. There's some really good stuff there. It's like, it's...
Do you have a favorite drink of Jamba Juice?
What's it called? The chunky strawberry topper. It's like one of those where they put granola on the top of the cup, and they serve it, you eat it with a spoon. It's one of those. Keep that in mind. That'd be a great gift to family. Jamba Juice, thank you.
How much time is left on there?
A minute
30
and a half.
30 seconds.
Okay. So, let's do... I was going to close this with asking you what your plans are for tomorrow.
For Mario?
For tomorrow.
Oh, for the Super Bowl, yeah. Well, every Giants game is always watched with the family. Like, that never changes. So we'll be at my stepbrother's in Central Jersey for it. I think we have over 24 people. I have like little nieces and nephews who are, a year old, 4 years old, and they all wear Giants jerseys. And we've been together for every Giants game of the year. It's with my family. It's like it's our biggest thing. So I still can't really believe the Giants are playing. Like that's like because this was not supposed to be a good Giants season at all. Like, everyone's just like they're an awful football team this year, but here they are. So definitely family. And I know a lot of people are always like, "Oh, you're not tweeting during the games." I will probably be staying off. My cell phone will be turned off as I nervously stare at the television.
We were going to ask about Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Huge Harry Potter fan.
Are you...
Favorite book?
You watch, like, the Star Kid stuff? Like, have you seen...
I've seen all the Star Kid stuff. Yeah, I watched right after I met Jamie. I watched all of them. They're amazing. Favorite book is Prisoner of Azkaban. The third one? Yeah, I feel like that's everyone's favorite. Everyone says that.
That's because it's the best book.
It's the best book. Yeah. But then, like I said, the question and answer for our last show, the last book I like because I got it in Ireland.
Right.
So I have like the UK version, so it's kind of like a special book. That was the last book. But I've been a huge fan since I was 13, I guess, when the first one came out. Wow.
Favorite character?
In Harry Potter? Oh God, I don't know.
Top 3 favorite characters.
Hagrid's way up there. Neville, but like the movie version of Neville. I really like that. Actor did a really good job. I'm just thinking movies. I don't really remember the books separately as well. And that teacher. What was her name? Umbridge. Right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. What a bitch.
Like her?
She was awesome.
Okay.
She was super cool. I remember just how mean it was when he had to write the thing and scribe in his hand. I was like, man, that is so mean. But I love it. I think she's one of my favorites because I was like the first time I was in high school when the thing came out, and I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, she's named. Like the names are like in Umbridge is like, kind of like a pain in the ass, like something that weighs over you. So I thought that was cool. So like, like a little like wordplay with the name. So yeah, I'd give Umbridge.
Well, Lupin too,
Yeah, Wolf. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be done soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.